Please don't be raining. Perfect.
Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rake.
Players in Circa Millions made 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select 1 team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, VJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Tuesday. It's Taco Bell Tuesday here at Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com. Jay Tust is with us for his Tuesday appearance. I said yesterday it was probably going to be the last show in my old house, and back here we are again. The internet's still not working, and I got over here, Jay, and remember they had taken out all of our stage furniture, so I don't even have a chair to sit in, so I'm doing this show standing up, but appreciate everybody for checking us out. It's a Taco Bell Tuesday. Again, TacoBellWorks.com. Check them out. They are hiring, and if you need a job, they'll hire you. They'll give you half your wages the day after your shift, and they'll give you free food while you work. So thanks to the Nicolason family, SON Management. Check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. Jay, you have recovered a little bit. I know you haven't talked a lot about it, but you aren't doing much with your left arm there right now for a reason, but hopefully you're feeling better, and looking forward to getting you back on the mend here, man.
Yeah, it was unfortunate when I had to text you last week and say that I couldn't make your golf tournament, and the night before thing, which I would committed to help out with, and I don't know if you believed me at first.
I didn't.
I got some proof. So yeah, tore my left bicep and had to go in for surgery last Thursday. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Kind of ruined summer, I'm not going to lie, but it could be. I'm going with the outlook. Could be worse, and we'll get over it and we'll get back.
Yeah, folks, like Robbie, you're asking how the recovery is going. Everyone's asking, hoping you're feeling all right. Vlad says 100-pound dumbbells will do that to you, Jay.
Apparently, Vlad. Apparently, man.
Might as well stick to a story like that if you're going to have to deal with it.
What's that?
You might as well stick to a story that it was, the heaviest weight in the gym or something if you're going to have to, I
mean, it wasn't lightweight, I'll say that. So, but either way, it just, it sucks. It's really funny, man. Like, as a dad, man, when you get a moment to get into the gym, like you get in there and you hit it. Don't necessarily, have the warm up or probably the stretch that I should have before I get in the gym. So I'm still trying to figure out the moral of this story or how to avoid it in the future. I'll get there, but I'm thinking that might be it for now. So slow down a little bit, I suppose, or something like that.
Well, we did miss you. The crowd at Stein Distributing was stuck with me moderating the Q&A. I guess more importantly, Leon and Spencer were stuck with me moderating the Q&A up there on stage. So we missed you Thursday. Definitely missed you on Friday. The group you would have been playing with was a fun time, great group. They tied for second again with 58, and they were pretty confident that if they had you there, they could have at least made up one or two shots to take down Matt Bauscher and win that thing.
Bausch got it. Man.
56, 2 pars, the rest birdies.
Wow. That's a heck of an afternoon there. I can't believe he played by himself and got a 58 or 56.
Well, and you get to take 4 shots a hole, things. Yeah. He had some buddies with him. They won. We discussed all that yesterday, played a nice little video, and it was a good time, but glad to hear you're on the recovery mend. It didn't look great. I don't, it doesn't look like something that's fun to deal with. So good luck continuing to feel better on that. And we're glad you're back with us today. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you out there at the tournament next year. We do have a big announcement coming today that, Jay, we're not really able to talk about much. I know some folks out there are mad, that we even are teasing about it. And I don't like this, and just wait till the announcement comes out and all this. It's big news for Boise State, trying to get folks excited. If that's PR for the university, if that's not the way you like it on Twitter and you'd rather us just not say anything at all, and then randomly at 1:00 something comes out, maybe that's the way to do it in the future. I don't know, but I was kind of laughing at the multiple people, some former media folks actually taking shots at the way that this is being handled. But I think it's pretty cool news for Boise State. We're getting stories and things ready. And again, that's how this works in this business. Sometimes a source will tell you the news, but to help you get you ready, but you just can't announce it until they give you the okay. And that's just the way it works sometimes in the business. So we were both tipped off last night, Jay. Again, not a whole lot we can say. That's tough for me sometimes. You know how I am, Jay, with trying to keep stuff in the bag here. But all I will say is, folks, come on, let's just be smart here with how big people are making this announcement. This is not this is not a home and home against Oregon State or something like that. Let's just be smart with what you're seeing from Jay, from myself, from Mike Prater. I mean, I saw Mike Prater call it the biggest, most significant scheduling announcement, Jay, in the history of Boise State athletics. That might be up for a little bit of debate, but I will just all I will say is it's a big deal.
Yeah, what we know at the moment is that Boise State released a lot of scheduling news last week, and I would expect more in the very near future. So, Jeremiah Dickey's done a good job of figuring out future schedules, and usually he has a nice little rhyme to his reason, I would say, with some of this stuff. And for me, now that we've been here, I've been covering this team for so darn long, BJ. One thing I like to do is to look if I've ever covered Boise State in that state before. And 2027, when they go to North Carolina to take on App State, that's a state that I've never covered Boise State in before. I can't remember my exact count. It's something like, I don't even know, 22 states, I think. I can't remember.
You got me by what? 1, 2? What was your first season? 2011.
2011.
So you got me by 2 years. So your number's a little bit higher than mine, but I think I've missed three road games in the last 11 years. So I'm catching up to you, I think.
Yeah, probably. They haven't gone to Toledo. I went there in 2011. So
that's right.
That was a unique one. But in terms of we're just football or whatever. But that's kind of something I like to check off the list and see if I can add another one.
So you're hinting that you may have another one you may be adding another one to the list.
I'm not hinting at anything. I'm just saying 2027, I get to add North Carolina to the list.
Well, all I'll say is, people got mad at me because when I said wow about Alvaro Cardenas, and people were saying, oh, that's not really worthy of a wow. I would say this is nothing's going to top Alvaro Cardenas committing. Well, this is probably a slight, just one B, I guess, if that's 1A. But all I'll say is, if you want to come at us later and say it wasn't worth the hype, that's fine. But I think they're going to have, Jay, you'd probably agree. I mean, you'll have the one negative Nancy, but I mean, I think by and large, this is going to be very well received by Bronco Nation.
I'm kind of interested. It's funny because Boise State still lists Houston as an opponent in 2025 on their website. And so,
which Jeremiah Dickey did come out, I guess, to a fan on Twitter and said they're still finalizing the contract, but it's not going to happen.
Correct. Yeah. So it's just, I think that's just kind of a matter of semantics at this point, or crossing T's and dotting I's and things like that. So that's just kind of one that, just to bring it up and explain again, it's on the schedule in 2025, but it definitely doesn't seem like it's going to stay there. But for now, the time being, Boise State still has that, at least listed on their website. But I guess what I'm saying is, given, JD's talked about this for a while now, I believe, but just won't be surprised if there is an opening, that season, and then they, they'll figure out what to do with Houston later on down the line.
And we're going to move on here, but someone's saying, is it football or basketball related? I think we're saying it's football related. We can at least say that, I think. And then someone else is asking about some is it a game, a thing? No, it is a scheduling announcement. So there is a game or games happening in the football side in the next couple of years. It's just kind of, we'll leave it at that. You'll find out later today is the expectation on that. And then, we'll see. I think it's going to. Like I said, I've been accused of hyping stuff up before. I believe this will be worthy of 100% of the hype when it comes out. Just as a scheduling note, there may not be a show tomorrow. We are flying to St. Louis, and I just got to see if I can squeeze it in. John Mallory is also on vacation, and Wednesday is his normal day. So, folks, we may push Johnny back to Thursday when we make our next TBT announcement, and I will let you know about tomorrow's show. But there may not be a show tomorrow if I can't juggle everything. But and then next week there'll be some days off as well. I know Jay's going to be gone for a week. I'm going to be gone for a week. So middle of June, we're going to take a little time off to kind of recharge here for the which is crazy because, media days are July 10th. So the charging for the stretch run or whatever starts a little early, a little earlier here with the July 10th media days. So we'll be on and off sporadically the next couple of weeks with some shows. Just we'll try to get you as many days as we can. But I know there's at least going to be 1 week that there won't be shows while I'm on vacation, and there may not be one tomorrow while I'm traveling. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. And then again, Thursday, we will make the TBT announcement. We'll have a show Thursday. We'll have a show Friday, and then I think Monday we'll do a show, and then I'll take next week off.
I'll email your boss and put in a good word. Is it still kraynes@bnn.com?
I think it's info@bronconationnews.com is the one that she gets. So you can.
Well, I'll shoot a message over there after this.
Yes, please do. Jonah Dalmas, again, so be prepared for that football news later today, and I think you'll like it. Jonah Dalmas is going to be the topic today on our question. We're up to number 15 on the list. We'll discuss that in just a second, but first, do want to tell you about Cutwater Spirits. More than 35 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for that next round of golf or that game day tailgate. Our title sponsor is roepaint.com. Check them out, roepaint.com. Again, the concrete coatings, whether it's the interior, exterior painting, the residential, commercial, industrial, all your painting needs, check out roepaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com, the best mobile e-branch online banking out there. So happy the Raines family made the switch. I just wish we had done it a lot earlier. So Brent Cotter, if you're looking for a home mortgage loan officer, Brent Cotter does a tremendous job. Reach out to me. I'll get you his info. I need to get a graphic made, but he helped us with our home mortgage. ICCU, Brent Cotter, and does a tremendous job every step of the way, texting us, letting us know about the process. So whether it's your home mortgage, just a standard old checking account, savings, you name it, let the professionals and the best in the business at ICCU help you out. Bauscher Real Estate, speaking about the best in the business, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. Found out firsthand. Helped me buy a house, helped me sell a house. And Bauscher and Kelly and Sarah and Kate and the whole team at Bauscher Real Estate, every step of the way, the process could not have been easier, and we're more appreciative and thankful than ever with Bauscher Real Estate. So check them out, BauscherRealEstate.com. And, of course, Ridley's Family Markets. I got 14 locations across the state of Idaho. Love that Kuna location. Was down there last week. ShopRidleys.com. And, again, you can save up to 40% off at the checkout line using the Skip app. You can get more information, find a location near you at ShopRidleys.com. All right, Jay Tuss, we are talking today about Jonah Dalmas. And again, in the past, and when we do these top 25 questions and things, a lot of times you got to throw something in there about the special teams. You got to get the kicker and punter in there somewhere. And usually it's like, number 1 or 2 on the list. You get them out of the way and you move on to the more exciting stuff. But, we talked about James Ferguson Reynolds and possibility of him leaving early for the NFL draft and how exciting his season could be this year. And now we're here at number 15, Jonah Dalmas, who has a legit chance to write his name into the NCAA record books this year. And obviously the COVID season, has played in with some of these rules and things for the career records. But Jonah Dalmas has 80 career field goals. The all-time NCAA record is 97 career field goals, Jay. 17 field goals from tying, 18 field goals from breaking the record, and he has already had multiple seasons with more than 18 field goals. I know you're hoping to get more touchdowns this year and not as much, field goals, but the question I'll just pose to you right off the bat, will kicker Jonah Dalmas make NCAA history this year and become the all-time leading career field goal list in NCAA history, or however I'm supposed to phrase that?
I lost my window there and was afraid I wasn't going to be able to get off mute in time there, so I was able.
I actually saw you were on mute, and I was ready. I was getting the drop ready while I was stalling, but you beat me to it.
No, I think that Jonah is going to get there this year. I think that he's got a great chance, man. And you just look at his track record of success. Not only has he performed when it comes to the volume of field goals that he's been able to successfully boot, but he's done it at a high percentage. And so, this will be Jonah's chance to prove that he's the best kicker, not just, currently in the NCAA, but maybe ever in the NCAA. And if he can get 18 field goals, I mean, that's what it would take, BJ. If he can get 18 field goals, he would hold the all-time record, which would be pretty darn remarkable for, I don't want to go, so far to say this, but at the same time, I mean, it's an NCAA all-time record. Kellen Moore winningest quarterback in NCAA football history. Jonah Dalmas has a chance to become, the most successful field goal kicker in NCAA history, and we'll see if he can track it down. But he needs 18 to break it, right? You look at his last 3 years, which are really only his 3 full seasons, 26, 23, and 24 field goals made. I mean, he should smash this thing and get it done. And real quick, one thing I wanted to point out too, BJ, there's so many like COVID stories about guys getting extra seasons and things like that. But like Jonah was really robbed of like most of his freshman season. So Jonah's not getting necessarily a whole additional season here. He played, I believe he came off his mission and played as a true freshman. Is that? I'll have to go back and double check.
I will never forget the first depth chart that was released either the week of the first game. And again, I know you and some of these folks, knew who he was, but not being a guy from the area and didn't cover a ton of high school sports. And he had left for a year or two. And I'll never forget that first depth chart comes out, whether it's the first game week in 2020, whether it was over the summer, maybe media days, they gave us a depth chart. I forget, but seeing kicker Jonah Dalmas, and it was like, wait, the local kid that was a soccer player and did all this, and no one had any thought that he was going to win the starting kicker job, and some people didn't even know who he was and that he was even on the team. Yeah. And all of a sudden he wins it as a starter and keeps on rolling. He was 7 for 8 that first year.
Right, but yeah, so 7 for 8, played in 7 games. It was a really, really weird COVID season. So, I mean, there's a lot of these records you could argue that, are they fair or not? And maybe that still applies to Jonah's situation. But I guess all I'm saying is that it's not like he's getting a full extra 14 games. I mean, his freshman season was cut about halfway short due to COVID. So that's why he's going to get a chance to come back and break this thing. And, I'm not saying he has to do it necessarily in the first, 7 games of the season, but
that would help the skepticism and stuff.
It might help, some type of argument. I think the one thing he's got a great chance to do, BJ, is at least break the Mountain West all-time record in that time frame. He only has 3 field goals to get to that all-time mark. So if he can break that record in that time frame, I mean, there's nothing that anybody can really argue with that. Like, weird season in 2020. Coincidentally, was Jonah Dalmas's freshman season. So we'll see if he can track down the all-time record. Kid deserves to do it. He has improved so much. And kickers and punters, man, and there's just something about them. I think sometimes it's like almost hard to take them serious at their craft. But, I think if you look over a time at Boise State and you hang around, a guy, Tyler Rasa still posting kicking videos. I remember the story, when he was at Boise State, that he started to bring out iPads that would record the kickers live at practice. Yeah. And so instead of just hanging around, going kicking field goals and then going off to the sideline, just hanging around at practice, and then watching video after practice got over, he brought down those iPads so they could get that immediate feedback and then go out and implement it at practice. So even when they're on the sideline not doing anything, they were doing something. And so now, Tyler's still around. He's coaching Jonah. Jonah is as serious as ever about this thing. I mean, he is as competitive as they come on the Boise State football team. And one of my takeaways from spring ball, dude was unflappable. Like, he was as automatic could be, at least in the sessions that we were allowed to watch him. And, early in his career too, BJ, like, there's a big question, like, who gets the kick from distance? That is no longer a question. If you're inside 60, like, or probably even a little further than that these days, you feel confident that Jonah Dalmas is going to go up there and put that darn thing through the uprights.
7 of 9 in his career over 50 yards. So he gets the long ones and he puts them through as well. And overall, just the percentage, Jay, I think is something we don't talk about enough as well. I mean, he's making a lot of field goals, but it's not like he's going, 25 for 35 or whatever. He has consistently been, I think 85% is the lowest he's had. He missed 4 field goals 2 years ago, only 3 last year, only 2 in 2021. So on 80 made field goals, he's also only missed 7, 9, 10 field goals. He's 80 for 90 in his career, so the percentage mark's going to be up there as well. And then I should know this, and I can't get the right tab to open here, but he's got to be closing in also just on the scoring record, the NCAA scoring record as well. I think he already either has the Boise State one or is close to it, but when you're talking all the extra points he gets, the field goals, I mean, I know it's a little different because when you think of a scorer, you would think of a quarterback or a running back or a guy that scores all these touchdowns. But in terms of the all-time leading scorer in college football history, I think he's got a chance at that one as well, if I'm not mistaken.
The one thing about the scoring record that will be a little tough for Jonah, like if you go back to like the Kyle Brotzman era, PATs add up, man, and they used to kick a lot more PATs. I mean, in all honesty, during the Kellen Moore era. So We'll see about one thing I wanted to say before I forget about it is, you bring up his missed field goals. He's actually had like quite a few field goals blocked over that span too, right? Like the Memphis field goal last year. I hate to bring it up. Sorry, everybody. That was in no way Jonah Dalmas's fault that was blocked, but technically that's a missed field goal on Jonah Dalmas's track record, right? So, that's just something to consider. But the scoring record, I mean, he'll certainly climb that list, but that actually, like, even for Boise State, for example, BJ, Kyle Brotzman's at 439. Yep. Jonah's at 284. And so
there you go. Yep.
Jonah would actually probably have to have a little bit. I mean, you have to have a big season. They're gonna have to score some touchdowns. Let's just say that in order for Jonah to get to that one. But what you're saying though is his name's going to be all over the Boise State record books, and for the most part on a number of national record lists as one of the best kickers in NCAA football history.
And you would think, being the all-time leading scorer or kicker, I guess, in terms of field goals, you would think at some point that would put you in the College Football Hall of Fame. But if a guy like Kellen Moore can't get into the College Football Hall of Fame, maybe it's not as much of a shoo-in as one might think.
Well, and there's something to that too. I believe you have to be an All-American on some type of publication at least once in your career. Gosh, I believe that's correct. Yeah, I know that just came out, but with Kellen back on the ballot again, so Jonah's going to have to find his way onto an All-American team, if I'm not mistaken. But dude, you're totally right. Like he absolutely would be in the conversation to go down and put his name in the College Football Hall of Fame. I mean, if you're if you own the all-time NCAA record in something, I don't know how that doesn't, warrant some type of serious consideration. So, and another thing about it too, man, like this kind of goes against what I was saying earlier, but Jonah for the most part is going to do it in about 4.5 seasons. So he's going to get a little extra time to get that thing done. Right. But if he does, that's a record that could stand for a very, very long time. It's going to be hard for somebody to come in as a true freshman and say average, you're looking at by the end of this thing, maybe
25 field goals. Yeah.
25, 28, 30 field goals per year for 4 years. So if Jonah can get to this mark and put it out there at, let's say 105, 110 or something, that could be one that we talk about, 40 years from now. Well, somebody's going to be talking about, hopefully we're talking about it 40 years from now. That's still standing.
Robbie Robinson says Wyoming trying to ice Jonah 3 times at halftime a couple years ago was so funny. To stare at the Wyoming sideline after he made it too icy.
Yeah, I will say this. We'll have to ask Jonah next time we see him. I'm going to guess that's not like Jonah's favorite game of the season. Back in Wyoming, late November, it's going to be like 8 degrees out, and kicking a ball, 40 yards is going to, feel like you're probably breaking your foot for that matter.
Tyree also remembering the Oklahoma State 50-plus yarder. Let's see what else we got here. Robbie Robinson also saying, here's the strategy. When you get a lead like 40-7 in the first half, you just let Dalmas kick every time they get to the 20. You got another member of the show here joining us?
I do, but I can't pick him up technically right now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to. So,
well, if you need a second, I can get our second ad spots here out of the way. If that helps, give me 1 second here. We're going to thank a couple more of our sponsors while Jay goes to daddy duty here for a second, and then we'll join you here in just a second. Don't forget about Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. We are going to be out there in the near future for a live show, and we make an announcement about a new NIL deal they have. But leanfeastmeridian.com, healthy eating. And they now deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley. So it's literally, there's no excuse to not eating healthy. I highly recommend the folks, Lean Feast Meridian. Check them out, leanfeastmeridian.com. The Blue and Orange Store, you need some new Boise State gear for the season. Shirts, caps, bumper stickers, car flags, logo golf balls, jackets, you name it. They got it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall. Or you can get free shipping on any order online over $40 at theblueandorangestore.com. TCS, Transportation Compliance Service. Check them out. Complete Trucking Compliance Management, transcompservice.com. You're looking to get into the trucking industry. These are the folks that will help you with the permits and things that you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Highly recommend TCS. Great company, and they can help you out with a new career that I think will be very enjoyable for you. And speaking of careers, Taco Bell Tuesday. We told you about it earlier in the show. Taco Bell is hiring the local freestanding Treasure Valley Taco Bell stores, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. They are hiring. And again, TacoBellWorks.com gets you more information to apply. And free food while you work and half your pay the very next day after your shift. So you don't have to wait 3 weeks for that first paycheck. Great work environment, promotional opportunities. Great benefits. Highly recommend looking into the Taco Bell family as a career. And again, the Nicolason family, SON Management Group, donating hundreds of thousands of dollars to student-athlete scholarships at Boise State. You can find more information about their charitable giving efforts as well at TacoBellWorks.com. And Lithia Ford of Boise, LithiaFordBoise.com. They were out there at the golf tournament, but the car is safe for another year. No one got the hole-in-one. But LithiaFordBoise.com, they got 6 NIL deals with Boise State student-athletes. They're one of the biggest supporters of Boise State athletics, and we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News as well. LithiaFordBoise.com. You can view the full inventory of vehicles, and then you find the couple you like, you test drive them, then you're on your way. The Raines family did that, found the vehicle we liked, this F-150 here, and then we were on our way just in a couple of hours because we'd already done all the research and back, we had our T's already crossed and I's dotted on which ones we wanted, and it was got inside it and said this is the one. So check them out. You will not be disappointed. Again, we appreciate Jim Sturk, Jamie, and the whole crew over at Lithia Ford of Boise. Jonah Dalmas, Jay, and nationally, I saw somebody in here say, "Oh, let's just wait and see how many awards he gets snubbed by again." By the way, Chase says he thinks it'd be funny if he breaks down a 60-plus yard field goal. What do you make just about nationally? How big of a story will this be? If Jonah Dalmas is approaching the NCAA field goal record, it's happened in the last couple of years. I don't remember too much about it. Which maybe doesn't make maybe should say it's not going to be a huge deal nationally. But I mean, is this a story that makes College game day on a Saturday? Is this what kind of national story will it be as he approaches the record here?
I'll be disappointed in Pat McAfee if it's not. Right, Pat's I know he's a punter, but he's always given a lot of love to the kickers. And so if Jonah Dalmas goes out and breaks that record and they're not talking about it in some way, shape, or form on College game day, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. Heck, Jonah needs to get his PR firm ramped up and get him on the McAfee show or something like that, so that
that needs to happen.
They can honor him and heck, bring his Aussie teammate from down under with them with the awesome mullet for that matter. So I mean, they have a chance. I mean, as much as Ashton Genty for that matter, those two have a chance to be the best in the country at their respective positions. And when you throw Ashton Genty into that mix too, I mean, hey, it's June 4th. The hype train, this is what the hype train is made for, right? So to begin the hype, that the fact that Boise State might have, three individual players that are the best at their respective positions in college football is something to get really, really excited about. And I guess if you look at season ticket sales, it would suggest that some are excited about it.
Bronco Ray must be late to the show. He agrees. Why say anything till they say it? Yes, BJ, you like to stir the pot. I don't like to stir the pot, do I, Jay? Come on.
Yes, you absolutely. I mean, both can be true in this case. You love stirring the pot.
There was like 5 people tweeting about this. It wasn't just me. I mean, we got the information, and
we're being specific about one thing. In general, you are a gentleman that loves to stir the pot.
Hey, man, I like to have a little fun on social media sometimes. I wish there was that sarcasm font sometimes that folks don't know about, but I like to.
That's such a problem. Like, why haven't we developed a sarcasm font that's just established across all social media platforms?
That'd be nice.
It would be nice.
Andrew said for the brand. Dylan says kickers and punters are people too. And by the way, talking about that Memphis kick, Tyree says too soon, Jay.
I know. Sorry, Tyree, man. I didn't want to bring it up, but I had to bring it up just in the sense that, like, again, Jonah's missed 10 field goals out of 90. One of those 10 is that one. Like, it's kind of unfair that counts. There should almost just be like a separate category for it. Like, if you have a field goal block, not the kicker's fault, there should be like a separate category for it because, he technically has not missed 10 field goals in his career.
No. And I know we talked about this already. I don't remember if it was your day or not, talking about James Ferguson Reynolds, but you throw in James Ferguson Reynolds, you throw in Stacey Collins coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jay, this special teams unit, I mean, from a kicker punter standpoint, has got to be, at least top 3 or 4 in the. I mean, you're literally talking about the guy that is about to set the record, and then and then who led the guy that led the nation in punting last year. I mean, I don't think it's crazy or homerish, whatever, to say that at worst this has to be a top 3 kicker punter duo, right?
At worst, yeah, for sure. And you go back to, I feel like the glory days of Boise State football, and special teams, man, is where those guys were absolute demons. And I kind of miss the days where you did have, like a Hunter White, who, yes, he was a mainstay on defense, but a large part of his reputation was what he did on special teams, and wasn't necessarily a returner or anything like that. I remember, Blake Reno running down the field, and like, man, you got in that dude's way, like, you might die. Like, that guy was an absolute wrecking ball. So, guys like that really developed their identity around making an impact on special teams. And I know I just named only a couple of guys, then they definitely did play a role on defense for that matter too. They were starters, but getting back to those days where you dominate the special teams, then all of a sudden you look up on the scoreboard, and that's like that little margin you needed in order to go pull an upset, against an opponent you weren't supposed to beat, a la in Oregon or whoever it might be.
Titus Young was elite on special teams.
Was elite, man. Again, another outstanding offensive player, but that dude, I was at the game versus Idaho when he caught the ball deep in the end zone, and ball sailing into the end zone, like, he's gonna kneel it. Oh God, he's taking it out. And then he went the whole way, and it was like, if you were gonna do that, you had to do that. And that was pretty epic.
Austin Pettis on punt block, Tyree says.
Austin Pettis on bump block. Those guys, again, we're talking about star players that starred in roles on special teams.
And they got logos now. I mean, they got logo, like you got Tyler Ross and these guys, and where they're all coaches are wearing like beanies and logos. I mean, they're making it cool to be on special teams.
When he showed up to interviews, one of the first times we actually got to interview him since his season-ending injury last year, dude was decked out. He had a beanie, he had a shirt, like he was decked out in the SWAT, get up that, I don't know, Stacey Collins is ordering, or has got somebody that does it for him. I don't know what's going on there, but
Tyler Ross is pretty good on Photoshop. I don't know.
All right, well, maybe that's it then. I don't know either, but either way, the fact that they're that invested in this, I think it's going to be really exciting. I don't know the last time I was so excited to watch special teams perform. Let's just say that.
When the punter comes out or the kicker comes out, yeah, usually, I mean, that's both those things sometimes are seen as negatives, and now I think those guys are 2 of the more popular players on the team right now.
Well, I'll just say, like, with Jonah, some of those, those lost possessions where, it's 3rd and 7 at the 37-yard line, or 4th and 7 at the 37-yard line, and you're like, man, if we don't get this and we got 7 yards to go, we surrender some really good field position. Now all of a sudden you can look over and be like, hey, Jonah, will you go knock a 54-yarder through the uprights for us and feel really good about it, you know? So that's a great thing to have, a great weapon to have for Spencer Danielson. And on the flip side of that, like, yeah, I don't know how often you want to see James Ferguson Reynolds on the field, but when you can pin opponents deep, now all of a sudden that next time your offense comes out on the field, you flip field position, you make it easier on them. So they're both tremendous weapons.
Couple more names coming in here. Kyle Wilson had his moments on special teams. James Hayes saying Quentin Michael and Chris Carr elite on punt returns. Let's see. Doug Martin making tackles on kickoff.
I remember Doug could return kicks too. I think he had the 101 yarder or something like that in the 11 Las Vegas Bowl.
That wasn't Jamar Taylor, was it? No, you're thinking interception.
He had one too. Jamar Taylor took an interception back to that game. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. I think it was Doug Martin on the kicker. I think you're right. Yeah, that was one of those. That was before I got here. Well, it should be fun. And again, special teams, like I said, in years past, Jay, it's kind of been one of the topics we have to throw in there just to discuss, but it's not really exciting or entertaining. And it's that's 2 full shows on special teams and of the first 10 on the countdown here. And I think those guys are going to be fun to watch. I know somebody said it. I don't know what the chances are of it happening. You probably don't want to do it, but since you can't send, and I still think they should send Ashton Jency down there to Vegas and do the interviews outside. I've said that before, but what do you say? I don't know if it was your day or not, but we've already discussed this once. But I mean, send James and Jonah down to media days. Like normally, it's like, oh, send the kicker and punter. Their team must be terrible. You get James down there with his hair and his story, and you get Jonah. Like those guys would be a huge hit down there at media days.
What are you trying to do to us here, BJ?
You don't want them down there?
I don't want any other coaches getting ideas. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Those guys could hold their own behind a mic, but so oftentimes you look down and you're like, oh, Troy Calhoun brought his right guard and his kicker. Yay!
And again, typically that's a sign you're not going to have a very good season this year. I just think it's kind of like if you were ever going to do it, this would be the year. And both those guys, I think, would do a great job, and both have cool stories.
Yeah, I just don't want to give any other Mountain West coaches ideas because that's we need quarterbacks and running backs from other schools, and this is our only preseason interaction with those gentlemen. That's
a good point. That's a good point. But
bring them, sure, whatever. Bring the whole team. Do something different.
They're going crazy with names on here still. Chris Potter, punt returner.
Chris had a big punt
11 at Idaho. They're saying.
Yeah, at Idaho. Yep, there it is. Actually, they're right, Clint. I was at that game too. Before I covered Clint, I think that was actually 2010 because that was the last time Boise State played. Gosh, maybe it is 11. I'm trying to think back. That might be 9. It's been a while. I don't think it was 11 though, because I was here in 11 and they didn't play Idaho in 11.
Well, again, as I said earlier, we may or may not have a show tomorrow. I'd like to have one if I can. We're going to see if we can make it work. Johnny's unavailable tomorrow, traveling back. He's been on vacation. We're going to have Johnny on Thursday. We'll still have our Thursday announcement. You know what? I'm just going to say it. No show tomorrow. I got a lot going on. I was going to try to make it work, but we will not have a show tomorrow. But Thursday, we'll probably go a little longer, closer to an hour on Thursday, because we'll have the TBT announcement. Not one, but 2 former Broncos, Jay, joining us as they join the TBT tournament.
2 announcements left.
There's 6. There's 4 to go. 4 to go, and we're going to do 2 this week. Take next week off because I'll be gone, and then 2 the following week, I believe. But I think there'll be a couple fan favorites on Thursday that I think fans are going to enjoy hearing from. So that'll be Thursday.
After this,
we'll be at 8 after this with 2 to go.
Okay, cool.
I think so. And the 6, if I have the little graphic here, these are the 6 already that we have.
Mm-hmm.
You got pro play. Cam Martin and Max Rice were just announced last week. Cam Martin recovering from the shoulder injuries. Pretty sure he's going to be able to play. Then you have Jessup, Marks, and Kejab. And we have 2 more. I don't want to click the wrong graphic here because I've already got them edited into the system. But 2 more coming up later this week or on Thursday. So Thursday at 9 a.m. No show tomorrow. I'm traveling. Thursday at 9 a.m. John Mallory will join me. And then Jay will be back on Friday as well to continue the countdown. And then, as I said, next week, I think it'll just be Monday and then the rest of the week off. So a little sporadic here the next 2 weeks, but got a lot going on. But, Jay, good continued recovery. Good luck with everything. And, I I know Camille never. I know Camille, you're the one that was always doing everything anyway, right? I mean, come on now. Just
even more.
Camille's probably doing just as much as she already has been doing here. So she's the rock star of that family.
She's been an absolute angel. This hasn't been easy on anyone, especially her.
Well, I'm sure she's handling it just as great as I would imagine she is. Yep. And that I've heard that before, though. But like when your kid comes running to you and you want to hold them, and that's got to be the worst feeling in the world, where you literally can't pick up your kid.
Yeah, it is weird because you feel like I still feel like I should be able to pick them up. So we'll get this done. We get a little checkup, a follow up on Thursday. Hopefully, I get a good news and move into a brace from this cast, and then. I've plotted it out, and a big reason why I just went and got it done right away is because I needed to have surgery regardless. But if I got it done when I did, then that would be the best case scenario for a timely recovery. And I think it's the 4th of July where I might be able to be out of a brace. So I'm just gonna hope for that.
Well, Camille, way to go! You're the rock star of the family as usual. And kiddos, be nice to Jay. Come on, let him recover a little bit here. Be nice to mom as well.
Mm-hmm.
And continued recovery, Jay. We'll talk to you on Friday. And again, no show tomorrow. We'll talk to you guys Thursday at 9 a.m. for the TBT announcement. Mike Prater does have a column, which gotta admit, when this news came out last night, or we heard about it, Jay, Mike Prater calls me, and all of a sudden it's like, well, about half my column just went to crap. So he is writing a column on Jeremiah Dickey, and it will be coming out later today. And again, we'll get that up from on BroncoNationNews.com at some point today. I believe the announcement is coming a little later this afternoon. And then when that all happens, I hope you guys are excited about that, because I think you will be. So appreciate you, Jay. Thank you to all of our commenters. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to our advertisers. Go support the sponsors if you can, and let them know that you appreciate their support of BNN. And again, the Cutwater Studios, I really hope this, I guess it has to be the last time we'll ever do a show from my old house here, as we're getting ready to move, and we're excited for that. So the Cutwater Studios for the final time here at my old home, Jay. A little emotional here. So we'll be cleaning it today and getting out of here tonight for the final time. And I lived here 10 years. Awesome house. Moved in here with no kids. And it was just a great house. Just got a little too small for us, and we're moving. So. Yeah, getting a little emotional thinking about it. Wow. It's been a fun 10 years in this house. It really has. I'm just looking around, seeing all the changes we made to it and memories and stuff. But I got some new ones at the new house, so excited for that. And again, appreciate everybody for your support. And go subscribe to BNN. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. And wish Jay some recovery on his arm. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.